All right, now let's take a look at the other issue in our project. Here in app settings, we have stored the connection string to our database. And as you know, this is checked into the source code repository. So that means anyone looking at the GitHub repository for this project can see the connection string to our database. Now in this case, it doesn't really make much of a difference. It doesn't really matter because this connection string is local on my machine. So the server is localhost and this database only resides on my machine. But as a best practice, you should never store passwords or any other kind of sensitive data in the source code. So in this lecture, I'm going to show you how to take this connection string out of the source code repository. So first, let's go to the startup class. Note that here in the constructor, we're adding a couple of JSON files as well as environment variables as the sources for our configuration parameters. Now, one way to fix this issue is to take the connection string out of our app settings.json and store it as an environment variable. So every developer will need to set this environment variable on their machine. The problem with this approach is that chances are each developer is working on many different projects. So then we'll run into issues of using unique names for our connection strings, like project 1 underline connection string, project 2 underline connection string, and so on. And that means we should also reflect that in the code. As you can see, this is very messy and hard to maintain. So in ASP.NET Core, we have another mechanism for managing application secrets. That's called Secret Manager. Now let me show you how to install the Secret Manager. First, we go to vega.csproj. Here we need to add another .NET CLI tool reference. But first, I want to consolidate these two item groups. So currently we have only one .NET CLI tool reference element under each item group. I want to put two of them under one item group. This is cleaner. And then I'm going to duplicate this second element and change the package name to Microsoft.extensions.secretmanager.tools. And the version at the time of recording this video, the latest version is 1.0.1. Next, inside this property group element, we need to add another element called user secrets ID. And you're going to see why we need this in a second. User secrets ID. Now the value for this element should be a unique identifier for our project. We can use a GUID or we can use vega-project. All right, now let's restore the packages. So in the terminal, .NET restore. Beautiful. Now we can look at the secrets stored for this project. So .NET user-secrets --help. So we can clear all the secrets, we can list them, we can remove one, and we can set a new secret. So let me add a new secret. .NET user secrets set. Now here we need to set a key and a value. The key is going to be connection strings :default. Because here in app settings, we have connection strings, and inside that we have default. Now the value for this key should be exactly this value we have here. So I'm going to copy this. Now back in the terminal, paste it here, including the double quotes. Now note that for some reason that I don't know, this secret manager doesn't like this exclamation mark in the value. So I'm going to temporarily change this to 1, and then I'm going to show you how to fix this in a second. So let's add this. Okay, here's a confirmation message. Successfully saved, connection strings :default, and here's the value. This is stored in a JSON file on your machine. If you go to Google and search for Secret Manager ASP.NET Core, look at the first link here, safe storage of app secrets during development. Now in this article near the bottom, here under this heading, how the Secret Manager tool works, you can see the location of the secret file for different operating systems. So note that here we have this folder called user secrets, and inside this folder we have a folder per project. So look at this parameter, user secrets ID. This is the value that we stored in our CS_proj file. So for each project, we have a folder, and inside that folder, we have secrets.json. So I'm using Mac. I'm going to copy the beginning of this path. Back in a terminal, let's go to this folder, Microsoft/user secrets. Now look here, I have a folder called vika-project. Let's go here. And this is my secrets file. So I'm going to open it with Visual Studio Code. Okay, look at the secrets file. So we have connection strings, default, and here's the value. Now, unlike what you think, the value is not encrypted. So Secrets Manager is not a safe place to store the secrets. It's only a tool that helps you move these secrets out of your source code. Now, later in this section, when we get to the deployment, you will see how we're going to deal with this in a production environment. So for now, let's just fix the issue with our connection string. I'm going to change this to exclamation. Save. Now we're done with this secret file. Let's go back to our app settings.json. We can simply delete this from here. And with this, we exclude the sensitive information from the source code. Now, one last step. Let's go back to the startup class. Here in the constructor, we're adding 2 JSON files and environment variables as the sources for our configuration parameters. We should also include the user secrets. So first, I want to put a semicolon at the end of this line. So I want to separate the adding of environment variables because we want to apply this after adding user secrets. You will see why in a second. So if environment is development, we're going to set builder to builder.add user secrets. Now, this is an extension method that we need to bring in separately. So back in the terminal, .NET add package Microsoft.extensions.configuration.user secrets. Okay, beautiful. Now .NET restore. Now back in the startup class, we have add user secrets extension method. Now this is a generic method that takes a generic parameter, and that's the name of our startup class. So startup, like this. So we use the user secrets only in the development environment, okay? Now finally, we want to add the environment variables after user secrets because we want them to override the user secrets. So builder equals builder.add environment variables. So that's how we use the secret manager.